Jackson. And this week we're celebrating the youths who have continued to do something great in our republic. Today is the International Youth Day, and we are here out on site celebrating the different youths that are doing remarkable and refuse to be tied down by the shackles of the society. Today I have impressive two youths that delve into the world of agriculture. On my extreme right is Antony Kiama. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Then next to me is Richard Kagotho Kiama. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So gentlemen, we'll start with you, Richard. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Richard Kiama. I'm a student from the University of Nairobi. I'm doing my fourth year right now. I'm also doing land economics.
You're doing land economics.
Yes.
Oh, impressive. And Antony?
Yeah, as you have said, my name is Antony Kiama, a resident of Nakuru County, TAC employed teacher. I teach English literature in Nyandarua County, a school known as Kagotho Secondary School.
And for those who are joining us, the show is Between the Lines. Send in your comments, send in your suggestions. Use the hashtag Between the Lines, and we shall be sampling them as we continue. These are different youths that are doing remarkable things in the world of agriculture. So, gentlemen, you are studying land economics, and Antony, you're a teacher by profession.
Yes.
How did you get yourself in the world of agriculture?
When you talk about agriculture, in Kenya, that is our backbone. Now, it all started with the coronavirus pandemic, and the schools were shut down, were asked, don't attend school. So, as a teacher, you cannot just stay home and be idle. So I had to look for something to do. And that's when I decided to dwell into agriculture and practice multi-level gardening, or what we refer to as a story garden.
And we shall be coming to look at that. Richard, you're a student of land economics.
Yes.
So how did you move from now land economics to this amazing project that you have on multi-level gardening?
What I can say, I found myself interested in story gardening because of the economics part of it. But beforehand, after school got closed, I came back home, and after using the internet for quite some time, I came across the story gardening from the internet. And that is when it got my interest.
So you actually got this idea from something that you saw online?
Yes.
And then you were telling me that you run a small organization called Caldera.
Yes, we run a small organization. It's a youth group. It's a self-help group of 10 people. And it was formed here in Nakuru with the youth that we have organized from the same county. Yeah.
So how were these 10 other individuals that you came together and you said that the 10 of you have an idea to delve in agriculture, or how did you get there?
Caldera was formed way before COVID came around. So we dub ourselves as innovators, and when we see a project that is viable, we use the group to spearhead the projects that we have. So this story gardening is one of many that we have been doing over a period of time.
And we shall be looking at that. Antony, why the name Caldera? What was the thinking behind the name Caldera?
Now, for people outside Nakuru, one of the things that they look at is Menengai Crater, the Lake Nakuru National Park. So we looked at it in form of, this is Nakuru. It's known for the Menengai Crater. Now the caldera, for those who have gone through the geography class, you'll know that a caldera is a depression formed in a volcanic mountain. Now, that illustrates the Menengai crater. So instead of calling ourselves a crater, just a normal name, let's look for another unique name. and that's where we got caldera. So we have the image of Nakuru being portrayed in that sense.
And it's a very it's a good thing that the 10 of you are able to come together and agree on an idea that the viewers who are joining us will be able to see what exactly multi-level gardening is all about. So, so the idea came. Let me come back to you, Richard. So the idea came. Schools have been closed. You are a student at the University of Nairobi, and our good friend Antony here is also a teacher. Yeah. So schools have been closed. A lot of activities have been shut down. You have come back home. So the idea came that you saw online. Then what was the next point?
So back in March, we started doing story gardening, but it was more of a smaller, it was more of a practical thing that we started. So when we started, we didn't get the right size of the strings and the papers. So after doing quite a number of the rings, then we got the right size, that the one that now we are using in other areas.
Meaning in between the journey, there was a place that you had a small blip.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Then now you came to the garden, to the multi-level gardening as it is right now.
Yes.
So, Antony, what are some of the crops that you've grown? And those who are watching us online, we will be showing you different bits of the garden where this team is working, what they are growing, and the different things that they are trying to use this modern level technology in embracing change in this world. So, Antony, what are some of the crops that you've grown in your garden?
Okay, as Richard has said, we started it in March, and throughout we have done over 10 different vegetables that we have put in those story gardens. But currently we have spinach, we have skuma, the regular skuma, we have also skuma matumbo, we have beetroot, we have mint, onions, strawberries, terere, kunde, managu, and also the spring onions.
Spring onions.
Yes.
And all these, did you start when you are setting up, excuse me, when you are setting up all these crops and starting to grow them, did you start with one, then notice maybe this one is not working, then move to another one until you establish those that were working for you?
Yes. In the first story garden that we set up, we tried to do with spinach, skuma, and cabbage. But we found out that cabbage occupies a lot of space. So it is not really economical for the ones who are going commercial. It occupies a lot of space. So we majored mostly on spinach and skuma. And we eliminated the cabbage for commercial purposes. But for just domestic purposes, you can also do cabbage.
Cabbage.
Yes.
And now that I think is where, Richard, you come in. So there were some crops that you had noticed were taking a lot of space in the garden.
Yes.
And then now you had to bring it down. And you're a land economist by study, and you will be soon by profession. So your input was very vital in developing the gardening?
Yes. So after realizing that the gardens actually do well with vegetables only, so we decided to use the space that we had, because the space between that you're supposed to plant on is only 4 inches on each level. So these 4 inches, you can really not plant cabbages except for the topmost layer. So this is how we came about doing vegetables such as spinach and sukuma wiki, because they use less space and they can be able to grow on that amount of space.
And now, the viewers who are watching us, you can get to see how the story gardening is done. how they come up with the rings. And maybe, Anthony, maybe tell us about the idea of the rings and how it is important to come up with those different stories.
Now, mostly or conventionally, most farmers take or make use of the horizontal space. But for us, we have tried to focus on the vertical space. And when you go vertically, that means that you are increasing the produce that you are going to get. And with increase of produce, then in comes the increase of the outcome that you are going to get, and also the money that you are going to make.
And now I believe the viewers can be able to see the different gardens that you're having, the different products that you're having, and how important they are in coming up with the garden. And now, let me come to you, Richard. You're a land economist.
Yes.
Tell us the dynamics of the space versus the number of gardens that one can have.
So ideally, a story garden, one garden sits on a space that is 4.6 square feet. In layman's term, that is like 1 foot, just one big step by one big step. And this space ideally would hold 16 plants, 16 vegetable plants. If you use a story garden, the same space would carry 130 vegetables. So what this means is, on a 50 by 100, it multiplies the growing factor by about 8 times. So you who has a 50 by 100, mostly we advocate for people who are planting this to do it on less in urban areas, because urban areas have competing need for space. So what we encourage is people who have smaller spaces would actually do this and compete with people who have almost around 5 acres in their land.
And Antony, and the viewers can continue to see the wonderful work that you guys are doing. So 10 guys came together. What is the composition of the Caldera, the 10 members of the Caldera self-help group?
Now, these 10 members, we are related by blood, all of us. We are brothers, sisters, cousins. The issue of mostly right now, youth are we have various youth who are getting lost maybe in drugs. They are getting lost in other ill doings in the society. So for us, we want to come together and we grow each other together. So and also in the Caldera group, you find that we have different talent, because as you can hear, Richard is doing land economics. I'm a teacher. We have an economic statistic member. We also have an architect. We also have a computer engineering member. So various talents are being brought together, focused towards a certain project.
And I think it's very impressive, especially in this modern age where we are having maybe lack of employment because of one reason or another. And today, as we celebrate the youths in this world, we celebrate the two of you because of a very vital entity, or delving into a field that maybe is not part of what you guys went to school to do. Now, seedlings, how do you buy your own seedlings, or do you grow them by yourself? Richard.
So we have a small greenhouse where we propagate the seedlings, and we then now transplant them on the gardens. So that is what we do. Or on other occasions, for people where we go to install for them, we buy them from the Ministry of Agriculture. The center is at Soil. Yes.
Yeah, and maybe Anthony, you would tell us. Now, we know not every other time that we normally have rains like we're having. And for those who are watching, today we are having our set is set outside. So you will please bear with us should we have any hitches that may be coming in between. And I'm told that we're going to take a small breather. We will be right back, and we'll continue this discussion about these two youths and a group called Caldera that have delved into the world of agriculture. We'll be right back. A special edition of Between the Lines. Today we're celebrating the youths of this republic and this entire world that are doing amazing jobs, impressive contributions in our world. Today we're celebrating youths in agriculture. We have two formidable youths in our studio today who are helping us understand what they are doing in line in the field of agriculture. The two of them have different backgrounds. One of them is a teacher, one of them is a land economist, that they've gone out of their way to delve in this world. So, my two brothers, so let us look at, before we went for the break, we were discussing, not every time it's raining like the rain that we're having right now. Not every time we do have rain in Nakuru. So, how are you able to sustain the gardens when it's not raining, like the irrigation system? How do you do it, Antony?
Now, when it comes to the irrigation system, we have a compost tea. And maybe I'd like to explain what is compost tea. Just like when you are given tea and then you dip the tea bag in it, we have the same idea. So we take the manure, we dip it into water, and it stays there for 3 days. Now after that, you use that water to irrigate the plants. And most leafy plants require nitrate or nitrogen. So this manure or this fertilizer that we are using, or the manure that we are using or we are watering with, it is very rich in nitrogen, hence ensuring that your product becomes very leafy and quite nice.
So this means that you do not use any other form of fertilizers. You just use the compost tea.
Yes, we only use the compost tea. We don't use any fertilizer. What we are doing is purely organic.
Purely organic.
Yes.
And I think it's very nice, especially when we're living in these times that we're having problems with our foods, especially that have been contaminated with a lot of these chemicals. It's very good that you do that. Now,
Yes.
Richard, how many times do you go to the garden? And how do you go to the garden yourself?
So when you talk about farming, the youth would think farming is you carry a djembe to the farm and all that dirty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What story gardening has introduced is you don't have to go to the farm with a jembe. All you have to do is carry your fork, the fork that people eat with, say for example chipo and just the usual food. This will enable you to farm around the garden and get rid of the weeds. So you asked about how many times do you have to go to the garden. When you start planting, you will visit the farmer maybe once in a week. After the vegetative cover has already grown, it stunts the growth for the weeds. So this means that you don't really have to go to the farm to get rid of the weeds. So maybe you'll have to go maybe once in 2 weeks or 3, depending on how good you're doing your cultivation. Yes.
So it is not as tedious as we normally think of going to a garden. You wake up very early, take a cup full of uji and ugali, then go down there and spend the entire day in the garden.
Mostly we brag about this because you'll only need 30 minutes in your farm, and you can even leave for work. So in the morning before you leave for work, you can get into your farm, you do your thing, and leave immediately. And it won't get your hands dirty, and at the end of the day you will have your produce, which is organic, and it is also healthy.
Impressive. Allow me to sample some comments that we're having on our platforms. Guys are watching. We have Michael Mushemi who is also watching. We have Claire Gidenji who says, Go Caldera Youth Group. Kevin Ling says that I am watching from Malaysia. Maina Washira says, we mpaka computer engineers wako. And it's a very good thing that and I think it's a discussion that we've been having, that it is high time that we the youths drop these mantras that we've put in ourselves, that we youths cannot do agriculture. And the two of you and your group is a revelation that people can do agriculture in this digital world.
Yes, people actually can do agriculture. And what we are trying to show the youth is that opportunity will not knock at your door. You have to go get it. People out here have so many brand or great ideas, and all they need to do is start.
It's okay. So Antony, you are a teacher by profession.
Yes.
Did the move from an in class where you say good morning to you every day, now going to the garden where you don't say good morning to you, it is you, good morning leaves. How was the transition, and was it hard for you?
Okay, as a youth, lazima we learn to adapt very fast to whatever is happening around you. Now waking up that early, nimezoea kuvaa suti na tai, just like unaona umeng'ara hapo hivyo vinoma sana. Naingia class,
yes,
with the chalk and all that, but ilikuwa challenging at first, because saa zingine uko na ile fork, unaenda pale hivyo kwa shamba, you are digging. Sikuwa nikijiimagine ati one day nitafika kwa kuingia kwa shamba, but you have to change. Just like Richard has said, opportunities hazikuji kwako. You have to go out there and get them. So when you just be in your comfort zone, hapo hivyo utapata shida.
And that is the message that is in this year's theme, that inculcating leadership, governance skills in the youth. Don't wait for those opportunities to come to you. Young man, young woman that you're watching me out there, you have to go out for them. Now, Richard, let me come to you. So, you also had a change. You are a student, and now you are a farmer.
Yes.
How was that transition for you?
I am still a student.
And you're still a student, yes.
A student. Currently, we're doing our exams online.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting for my final examination. But this notwithstanding, I could not sit back and just wait for my examinations. And this is an opportunity that presented itself. So with, like the president said, with every disaster comes opportunity. So it all boiled down to me taking advantage of this platform that we had, and this opportunity and grand idea that we had. That is how I took advantage of this idea that we had. Yeah.
Impressive. So allow me to sample some views from online. We say Maina Oshira says this is inspiring creativity among the youth. I'm proud of Caldera youths. Maina again says going to a garden for Kiachipo, interesting. Then Claire Gidenji says that story gardening is the way to go. So now let's talk about story gardening. So you guys have been in it now for that is 6 months. Is that around
Yes,
6 months?
6 months.
So 6 months you've been doing the story gardening. Have you had clients that have reached out to you? Have you had people that you've helped set up the story gardenings for them in their compounds, Antony?
Yes, we have done that. Starting from Nakuru, in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture, in their offices at Soil, we have set up a few story gardens there. Around Shabab area, we have set up. Around Kiti, where we have a resident, we have set up. Out of Nakuru, we have gone to Nairobi. We have set up a couple of them. So we are venturing out there. We have some orders coming up from Muranga, and we are focusing also getting outside the country and shipping this technology out there to the whole world.
So it's agriculture in a cool way. That's what we're saying.
Yes.
Now, land economists, help us here. We are looking at the garden here. What size is this? Then, how many gardens can we fit? For those who are watching us, and they would want to know, in a section like this one, how many gardens can we fit in what square kilometers? You are the economist. Tell us.
This is an ordinary plot in an urban area, and it's a 50 by 100 plot. So what you see here is actually less than 100 story gardens, and this is really not even half the size that you're supposed to plant or to grow the gardens, to build the gardens. In a 50 by 100, you would do 300 gardens. So if you boil this down to one garden would probably be able to give you 130 plants. If you multiply that 130, between 130 and 120, if you multiply that with 300 gardens, that would give you around the same amount. If you were to plant it on land, you would get 5 acres. So getting plants from this 50 by 100 is equivalent to planting 5 acres somewhere, maybe in Subukia or in other rural areas. So you can be able to get so much produce from such little space. And the best part about it is that it is in a location where it is accessible and it is also organic.
Impressive. Now, Antony, tell us, what have been the challenges since you started doing agriculture? To you as an individual, not even to Caldera as a group. What have been your challenges personally? And I want to tell your friend here and Caldera members watching that they don't victimize you for whatever you're going to say of this.
Challenges are, to me personally, mainly imekuwa ile story ya kwenda out there looking for the market. So you cannot compare wakati nilikuwa nikiamka asubuhi naenda to class direct. Now you have to go out there and look for market. That youth saizi hawataki story ya kushinda ukiingia shamba unalima. So I have to convince them that, hey, there's an opportunity here. You can dwell in this and make some cash out of it. So that kwenda out there na kuinteract na watu ati you're looking for the market. personally hiyo imekuwa a challenge too.
That has been a challenge. Now, Richard, as we wind up, what is this one word you would tell those who are watching us, the viewers, and even the youths that are listening to you? What is that motivation you can tell them as we wrap up?
Mine is just to encourage the youth with the grand ideas that you have, the great ideas that you have. There is only one way for you to find out if it is going to work or not. And you have to put yourself out there. You have to make sure that you wake up every morning and you keep on doing what makes you happy and what is to you. And in the same spirit, you would still be making money out of it. Because this is something that I found personally interesting. And the getting money out of it has been like a second or an afterthought. So mine is just to encourage the youth to put themselves out there and continue doing the great things that they keep on doing.
Impressive. Antony, a final comment that you would give the youths out there?
To the youth out there, usiogope kuingia venture out there. You have great ideas, you have great minds. Just try out whatever you have. Don't be afraid that watu wataniongelea nini au watu watasema nini. Just go out there. Sababu jobs saizi tusitegemee the blue collar jobs or the white collar jobs. Let's go out there and let's create these jobs.
Create these jobs is what Antony tells us as we wrap up. It has been another edition of Between the Lines. I've been your host, Karanja Jackson. Let's continue celebrating the youths out there. And for the many youths that are listening to us, don't sleep, don't lie down, don't tell yourself that all is over. Look at this project. These are two individuals that thought that, yeah, the pandemic is here with us. And that is actually what most people have been saying. The pandemic is here. What are we going to do? No. Go out, do something for yourself. And until next time, stay safe.